I think we're ready to get started. And now can you hear me through this mic? Excellent. Bienvenidos. Bienvenid. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here together at such a significant moment in world history. We at the LRC stand united with our sisters and brothers seeking liberation everywhere. A space to be fully human with all relations of the loved earth. And we at the Democracy Media Lab strongly condemn the actions of the State of Israel and implore the U.S. to stop the genocide. My name is Angela Marino. I am one of the faculty leads of the Critical Perspectives and Democracy and Media Lab at the University of California, Berkeley. As a lab, we create publications, discussions, art making, and media. We're examining the contradictions and possibilities of rethinking what democracy means for us in the American hemisphere. At the heart of the DM Lab are 4 working groups, each led by community fellows with undergraduate and graduate student research apprentices. This event would not be possible without the generosity and ongoing sustained space that we are in of the Latinx Research Center in partnership with the Haiti Action Committee and the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund here in the Bay Area. We are all here today to listen and to honor one of the truly remarkable women of the 21st century, Madame Mildred Aristide. Before we welcome Mildred Aristide to the stage, may I ask for all of those with the Haiti Action Committee, the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund, and all of those representing the Latinx Research Center and the Democracy Media Lab to please stand up or wave however you can to let people know who you are. And later at the reception, which will be following this program, we invite you to ask them more about our work and what we do. We hope that this occasion will bring forward a lasting friendship between the University of California, Berkeley, and the remarkable program of the University of the Aristide Foundation, UNIFA. And before we begin introductions of Mildred Aristide with our Action Committee, Haiti Action Committee partners, we would like to further open our space. Is Avotcja here? Do you know?
No, it is.
Okay.
You don't know we had to begin a lot.
So we will be.
I can do something if you need a little, and I can say something.
Would you like?
If you want, that's no problem.
That would be amazing. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Creator, provide for us, provide for me. The snail has no arms, the snail has no legs, yet you provide it for us. Creator, provide for us, provide for me. When a voice command me to seek and it shall find beauty all around me, pretty water for miles and miles. Then the voice informs me, tell me what you do by night. And this land is secret, seen by very few. Your forbearance knowledge, now I pass on to you. I am the Orisha, so secret to the miracle. You did what the corner where you are, well done, your majesty. Hallelujah, 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 Rabba Shambu, hallelujah. Now Mr. is floating, dressing like a cloud. Aaron's voice is calling, I look down and see a crowd. Drumming and they chanting in a different tongue. Music so enchanting, I have to go down. Watching what they're doing, trying to understand. It was so amazing since I came from another land. The high priest approached, hold and shake my hand. Welcome home, son. Welcome to our people and day. Shango in my culture. Yellow Ram. Nevada, Lord Mary. Orisha, Washuna, Nugu. Mekalabash, Meobi. Mekandle and me oil. This is what they hang me and say, come go home now and try. You may laugh and shun me and treat me with scorn, but I know who will help me since I was reborn. So when you are chanting and knocking the drum, all who say they're fucking, still waiting my power from me. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, Shango, Hallelujah, Shango, Baba, Shango, Baba, Shango, Baba, Shango, Baba. Washington,
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. So with that, we would like to now bring to the stage Seth Donnelly and Kiyoshi Taylor, and they will be introducing the informer Avotcja to introduce Mildred Aristide.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
energy I thought we'd have for such an amazing guest. Hello, everybody. So, I'm part of Haiti Action Committee. I've been working with my good friend Seth Donnelly and Pierre Labossiere for probably about, a decade now, wouldn't you say? Yeah. It all started way back in 2014. Donnelly and I, he was my history teacher. A little less gray hair, but you know, a lot of that is my fault. We led some marches in the name of Black Lives Matter back then during its first kind of round with Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, and many others who were slain to police brutality. And as I'm starting to find my voice and learn to be a leader, I was learning from others, such as Donnelly here. And as he took me under his wing, he introduced me to the beauties of Haiti and the liberation movement happening there. And if it wasn't for that, in 2022, when I came back to the area and really started, kind of re-galvanizing a lot of the activism that we had planted the seed for 5 years prior, it was Haiti that became kind of the beacon of light for us. Because despite everything we were going through, despite all the trials and tribulations we had going on right here in the Bay Area, we knew all the way across the ocean, we had our friends in Haiti standing with us in solidarity. And it took a lot for me to learn how to stand truly in solidarity with them. And for me, that was through education. Because I know right here in America, we do a lot of miseducation, right? Miss Laura Hill had a whole album about that, actually. And in that education, it's very important to me that we fight the battle, the media battle. So I teamed up with the legendary Pierre Labossiere, and we started creating a lot of educational videos that have really helped shape the narrative and really reshape the narrative of what's going on in Haiti and the beauty that lies in this fabulous country. And that's where Haiti Action for the youth stands.
Yeah.
And it's that beacon of light that always, always, always is, no matter what the circumstances, continues to shine and continues to be my inspiration to fight for those who I may never meet. And that's why you actually, Ms. Aristide, are such an inspiration to me personally. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
How's the audio? When you're back here, there's a little bit of a reverb, but is it okay for the audience?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
If it could be tweaked, that would be lovely.
Maybe just tweak it a little bit?
Touchdown.
Okay. I'm going to keep mine really brief because obviously we're here primarily to hear Mrs. Aristide and to hear Pierre. And then we want to have some dialogue. But special thanks to the LRC, to the Democracy Media Project for hosting. This is just a remarkable turnout. I know how hard Angela and the students have been working to put this together, so let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. You look around, there's so many young people and professors and veterans, so it's a beautiful gathering. Like Kiyoshi said, I'm also in Haiti Action Committee, and I've been working with Haiti Action for about 20 years. And it's had many opportunities to travel to Haiti and do work with taking some of my students. I'm a high school teacher, and meet incredible people. And I've had the great honor of being able to go to the UNIFA campus multiple times to visit. So it is also a tremendous honor for me to be sharing this space with Mrs. Aristide. I know Pierre will say more by way of introduction for her, but I want to introduce Pierre. And so Pierre Labossiere co-founded Haiti Action Committee over 30 years ago. Is it now 31?
Yeah.
And we have the other co-founder in the audience, Robert Roth, who is also a mentor for me. Pierre has worked tirelessly over many years, of course, going back before that time. But during the inception of Haiti Action to the present, so many people like myself have been able to, through his initiatives and his leadership, been able to meet comrades in Haiti, to be able to forge bridges that otherwise would be impossible to forge. Those of us who know Pierre knows that his sleeping schedule is erratic. It's 3 a.m. and there's emails coming in, and then it's He works, when I say tirelessly, that's pretty close to it.
That's right.
Faculty, we're used to that too.
Yeah. But, you know, so it's a really, I always say this, and it's the absolute truth. I speak from the core. It's a high honor to introduce Pierre Avotcja. So give him a warm round of applause, please.
Thank you.
See, he gets mic'd, and yeah.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
A real pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Seth and Kiyoshi, for this very kind introduction. You all are very charitable to me, so I appreciate it. Wanted to say thank you to the Latinx Research Center, particularly Dr. Marino, Angela Marino, for putting this together, and everyone else with the Latinx Research Center. I came up here with an armful of books. I knew I was coming to a university, so I had to put this jacket on and bring books and everything. But I want to promise you, I read all 3 of them. Very proud again to be here. And let me get to the books. I want to highly, highly recommend those 3 books. And there are more. There is this book by Randall Robinson called An Unbroken Agony. Haiti from Revolution to the Kidnapping of a President. This is a must read if you want to understand what's going on in Haiti today. I highly recommend it. The second book is Haiti, Haiti, Philosophical Reflections for Mental Decolonization. And this is a book by President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. And it's about just what the title says. It's about mental decolonization. The work that is taking place in Haiti today among the grassroots, among the people of Haiti, and something necessary for all of us, for all humanity, because we are a product of the colonization period. Racism and all of that stems from that period. And so it's very important, it's a must read. And thirdly, another book that is like my Bible as well is Investir dans l'humain. And I know when I say Bible, that betrays my Christian background, but that's nevertheless, I mean it as a reference book. It's very important for those of you who speak French. Investir dans l'humain means investing in people. This is the platform of Famille Lavalas political organization. Back in 1999, I believe it was published. And this book means a lot to me, all 3 of them, but this book in particular means a lot to Haitians, because this gave us a blueprint on how to build Haiti and bring it forward, and breaking ties with this legacy, this continuing history of misery, and telling us and colonizing our minds to tell us that Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, as many of you have probably seen so much reference to Haiti as such. This book actually helped me, when I read it a few years ago, to understand that we were being fed a bunch of lies. And it wasn't just me, it was Haitians throughout Haiti, Haitians in the diaspora. Because President Aristide and the Famille Lavalas political organization, they showed all the mines of the wealth of Haiti, both above ground and underground. And later on, after reading this book, we came to say, and I'm stealing the words from Marilyn Langlois, that the people of Haiti are among the most robbed people. We are not the poorest, we were robbed, and we are continuing to be robbed of our resources. So, don't want to go on too long. What it does, it details all of the resources of Haiti and the plan that Famille Lavalas, under the leadership of President Aristide, the government of Lavalas was implementing to make Haiti a better place for its people, for all of us. And Haitians, when this plan was being implemented, Haitians who had been refugees before, and I mean those of us who were fortunate to get on a plane and come to the US with legal documents, and those who were forced to get onto rickety boats because they couldn't get those papers to make it through or get on the planes. They had to flee for their lives. So many, thousands and thousands were returning, flocking back to Haiti when President Aristide and Famila Valas were in office, because Haiti was being built by its sons and daughters all over the place. Then we had a coup d'etat of 1991, and the 1991 coup d'etat devastated the country for 3 years. Over 5,000 people killed. And I mention that because UC Berkeley has a special place in my heart. During that period of time, when Randall Robinson went on a hunger strike for the Haitian refugees and for the return of democracy to Haiti, challenging the Clinton administration, Randall, all the people picked it up, students and faculty from UC Berkeley, right there, Sproul Hall Plaza. They set up what is known as Camp Clinton, exposing the hypocrisy of the Clinton administration, because here they were talking about, oh, they want democracy and everything, but they were doing everything in their power to delay the return of President Aristide. And they were imprisoning, putting in concentration camp in Guantanamo.
Yeah. People
People were fleeing because their lives were being killed, they had family members who were killed. And what was their crime? Their crime was simply that they voted. They exercised their right to vote. One person, one vote. And they voted for a man and for a party, for an organization that they believe would make the country right. That was President Aristide. And so the US under Bush the father got the Haitian military to conduct the coup d'etat. But people here on this campus, students and faculty members, did participate in the rolling hunger strike and stood in solidarity with the people of Haiti. Because of this international solidarity on several campuses, President Aristide triumphantly went back to Haiti in 1994. And this brings me, yes indeed, the times are calling for this kind of solidarity again, because at that time we had a situation similar to what is going on today. And what they call gangs are actually death squads. You see, they are paramilitary death squads. Just like back then, there was a group of paramilitary death squad that was organized nationally by the CIA. It was called FRAP. This is not me saying it. We have Ed Bradley, way back, who passed away, from 60 Minutes, did a special, interviewed the man who was in charge of setting up FRAP. And he interviewed him, and the guy said that the CIA paid him $800 a month to organize a group of killers to murder brothers and sisters. What was their crime? Because they voted. They voted for their future. They voted so that they can have the right to vote. They voted so that they can have the right to sit at the table of decision making to say, we need a school in this community. There are too many kids who don't go to school. We need a hospital in this community. We want our tax money not to go and be invested abroad, being stolen. We want our tax money to be invested in our future. We want our tax money to help to bring seeds, to bring irrigation canals to Haiti so that our people can feed the country and be able, when they produce food and their farm products, to be able to sell it and live a life of dignity. And that's why they were being massacred, because they stood up for their right to live in dignity as human beings. And so this brings me, I could go on and on, but I'm trying to shorten it. This brings me to this introduction of this amazing, amazing leader in Haiti, Mrs. Mildred Aristide. Please. At the time when the students were doing this work, Mrs. Aristide, at that time, she was attorney Mildred Trouillot. She was working with the government of President Aristide in exile to bring democracy back to Haiti. So when we were here in Camp Clinton, demanding or blockading the federal building downtown Oakland, some of us were arrested doing that. She was there dealing with all those monsters in Washington, D.C. to change U.S. foreign policy and bring back the government of President Aristide. And she was successful. They were successful. Her team was successful. President Aristide did return to Haiti. And so when he came back, he implemented a number of those reforms for which they had been, he was being thwarted. So I want to focus on Mrs. Aristide now. There was a coup d'etat in 2004 after President Aristide was re-elected to office. Why? Because he was implementing the program of Investir dans l'humain, investing in people. That was the crime. That's the reason why he was overthrown a second time. And it was not just an overthrow, it was a kidnapping. Mrs. Aristide, President Aristide were both kidnapped in their homes, early wee hours of the morning, and taken forcibly to the Central African Republic, which was a puppet regime set up by the French, put in a French military base. And it was thanks, I won't go too much into the story because probably she'll talk about it, and it was thanks to, again, international solidarity by a team led by none other than Congresswoman Maxine Waters. I believe Randall Robinson was part of that, and a group of other people who brought them back to safety to the island of Jamaica. Jamaica was threatened by severe actions for allowing the Aristide family to stay in Jamaica, and by none other than Condoleezza Rice, by none other than Colin Powell. So when people are talking about this Secretary of State, or saying, oh, a black man or first black woman, look, don't let that fool you. Just because someone's skin is black doesn't mean they believe truly in a world of democracy. Doesn't mean that there are values that represent us. They are involved in kidnapping, and like they did to the Aristides. And so we Haitian people never forget this, and we want to proclaim it to the world. That's what they did, and the US has to pay for those crimes, because that's not right, what they did to our sisters and brothers. So Mrs. Aristide, at this, after 7 years of exile, with President Aristide and with their children, Christine and Michael, they came back to Haiti. Again, the resistance of the people of Haiti and your solidarity. They came back after 7 years of exile. And the first thing, we were there, Robert and I were there, and they said to us, we are going to reopen the University of the Aristide Foundation, UNIFA. And we say, wow, because that university had been built about in 2001, 2002. And the US, when the US did, France and Canada did the kidnapping, they actually took them forcibly, shut down the university, took the students out. Imagine, Haiti has few doctors and nurses. A school that's training nurses and doctors, you're going to shut it down. To do what? To set up a military base, to set up barracks. And those barracks, what were they doing? They were massacring Haitian people. And this is what's going on today. So I talked about FRAP only to say today the so-called gangs that you see in the media, that you see in the corporate papers, saying, oh, we have to come and save the Haitians. People in Haiti are saying, no, we don't want you to save us because you came in and started the gangs. You organized those gangs. These are the paramilitary death squads that the FRAP was. Today they have another name, they just call them gangs or so many other names. But it's to confuse you. The Haitian people are not confused by this. We know that these are paramilitary death squads that are there to kill us, similar to FRAP. And people in Haiti are against, for the most part, are against any kind of intervention. But it is in that environment that President Aristide and Mrs. Mildred Aristide have come back to Haiti, have reopened, have courageously stepped out on faith to reopen the university, which has now graduated over 1,100 students in various fields, in the field of, and this university is through the tireless efforts and under the leadership of Mrs. Mildred Aristide, President Aristide, and a beautiful team that works with them. So it's a beacon to show what Haitians can do, what Haitians have done, and what we are doing. But you are being lied to and told that somehow we are inferior. We cannot make anything happen. We cannot do anything. And so we need the UN to intervene. We need them to come. All they are doing is coming to Haiti in the tradition of Christopher Columbus, in the tradition of the conquistadors, because Haiti has a lot of natural resources, petroleum, gold, copper, uranium, iridium, and a number of other cobalt, from what I've heard. I still have to verify that. But other things like gypsum and so many other things that they covet that they want. And they want to change the Haitian constitution so that they can plunder our resources, same way that Christopher Columbus did it. So those so-called gangs, they are there to do just that. Cut off people's head, burn down their homes, force them to leave areas where those mineral deposits are there, and chase people out and make it easy for people to flee the country. So I'll stop right there. I've gone on too long. My apologies, but I wanted to set and call for your solidarity. And you can get in touch with us with Keep That With You. This is a leaflet that we put out. Keep that with you. And we'll be glad for us to work together in solidarity. Mrs. Mildred Aristide, we love you. You have the love of millions and millions and millions of people, both Haitians and people outside of Haiti. And your work is tremendous. Your leadership is phenomenal. So thank you for all that you do for all of us. And President Aristide, I'm sure we're sending him big vibes of love, the power of love, and to you and to Titi, let's give them a big hand.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry.
We wanted to present with you guys some gifts.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Here. This one's for you. This one's for you.
Oh my goodness, how beautiful.
You want to come and say something? Please.
Oh, beautiful. That is
Hello,
gorgeous.
everyone. Good afternoon. Abby and I just wanted to present Pierre and Mildred some gifts from the Democracy and Media Lab, from our students and from us, and we really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you very much. This is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's give it one more time for Pierre.
Is it possible to do this? Okay. Thank you very, very much, Pierre, and for that wonderful wrap-up of the history, which I'll go back to a little bit, but thank you. Thank you, Angela, Marina, and the Berkeley Latinx Research Center for this invitation to your beautiful campus to have this conversation about our university, Université de la Fondation Dr. Aristide, UNIFA, and the work that we are doing amidst very troubling times in Haiti and troubling times in the world. In this moment of shared grief, mourning, and outrage at the violence being waged against the Palestinian people, I deeply appreciate your presence here today. I want to start this afternoon with a short slide presentation about UNIFA. Images of students in class, walking on campus, graduation ceremonies, cultural events, campus construction, university housing, guest lecturers, several hailing from the great state of California, and I think you may recognize a couple of faces there, and our many mango trees on our campus, our university hospital, during construction and completed. In and of themselves, the photos are not really remarkable, except that when you consider the current situation in Haiti. After the photos, I'll begin my talk with a brief overview of Haiti's history. It won't be long, but I think that it's important because this gives context to UNIFA and offers greater insight to what is happening today. Then I'll tell you about UNIFA, when it was established, our mission, the programs that we offer, and a profile of our students. And of course, some information about our newly constructed teaching hospital. And finally, how and why UNIFA and its work and the work of all universities in Haiti must be strengthened in this moment of extraordinary levels of violence, social, and political upheaval gripping the country. 3 weeks following a UN resolution, Security Council resolution, calling for the deployment of foreign troops to Haiti, things are far from clear. But what is clear is that over the past 2 years, massacres, killings, kidnappings, population displacements, arsons have become normalized. Hunger is rising. Food production has plummeted. Prices have more than quadrupled in the past 2 years. The cost of diesel is $4.50 a gallon, and electricity the rarest of commodities. Hospitals are being forced to close their doors or suspend services. The September opening of high schools and grade schools was delayed not only because of the insecurity and severe economic deprivation, but because school buildings are housing families forced to flee homes taken over by paramilitary groups. And layered over that, an anxiety, an angst, and trauma difficult to describe. At both ends of the socioeconomic spectrum and all through the middle, people who can are leaving Haiti. Increasingly, the young are opting for a 2,000-mile journey that starts in Nicaragua. They cross Central America by bus, then through the treacherous 60-mile Darien Gap on foot to reach the U.S. southern border. In recent weeks, as many as 14 chartered flights to Nicaragua a day, leaving Haiti with upwards of 3,000 Haitians a day. At the individual level, few can deny that leaving is the rational thing to do. The danger is real. But at a collective level, this exodus represents the single greatest threat to the nation. But we must believe that it is not hopeless, nor is it the case that the only conversation worth having about Haiti is about sending foreign troops. The focus on this, to the exclusion of everything else that can be done to combat insecurity now, alleviate food insecurity now, address the housing crisis, support the education and health systems now, is wrong. It limits our capacity to think broadly, creatively, and humanely about what to do in the face of admittedly complex problems. In the endless debate about sending foreign troops to Haiti, the numbers, which countries will participate, the level of force to be used, under what authority and whose authority, these vague assurances that repression, abuse, and acts of gross negligence of past military interventions will not be repeated. In all of that, the most critical debate is being sidelined. The debate on Haiti's strategy to counter the existential threat that it faces. Today, I want to turn my camera on that, because strategizing for dignity, security, and peace for Haitian is UNIFA's mission. In fact, it is the inherent mission of this university right here and all universities and schools and institutions working with young people. To believe that nothing can be done justifies doing nothing. The work of UNIFA and the other universities in Haiti prove that there is much that can be done and is being done. So at this point, I want to pause, and if we can show the slides, we'll do that now. Thank you. Haiti. When it comes to regional okay, this word is getting tricky on me. When it comes to putting Haiti in a category in the region, it's always been a conundrum. I'll give you 4 examples. First, while the island is situated almost dead center in the Caribbean Sea and has a population of over 12 million, by far the largest in the entire region, Haiti did not become a member of the premier Caribbean organization, CARICOM, until 2002, a full 29 years after CARICOM was created. Second example, although technically a Latin American country, we are in the Americas and we speak a Romance language, French and our Creole. Haiti is often not integrated into traditional Latin American studies programs. Third, only recently has the Haitian Revolution been added to the study of transformative revolutions of the 18th century. You talk about the American Revolution and the French Revolution, but only in the last few years do we talk about the Haitian Revolution. The fourth example, and the greatest fail, came in 1804, when as independent Haiti was boycotted and rejected by the international community of dominant slave holding nations. Throughout Haiti's history, the struggle against exclusion and for freedom, dignity, security, and peace has been a constant. At the start of the revolution in 1791, the population of enslaved persons was estimated at 500,000, while there were only about 30,000 European settlers on the island. To compensate for being so outnumbered, French colonial masters exerted unimaginable violence against the huge majority. The human supply of labor seemed so unlimited that it was cheaper to work an enslaved person to death and replace them rather than feed them and maintain them in health. At the price of this horror, Haiti was France's richest colony. Nearly 20% of the French population owed its livelihood in some form to the trade in or the work of African enslaved people in Haiti. Not surprisingly, accounts of the Haitian Revolution reported from slave-owning nations like the United States rarely mentioned the brutal acts committed against blacks. The sole objective was to discredit the idea of black political autonomy and paint Haitians as savages. After independence in 1804, Haiti became the first black republic to issue from a successful slave revolt. But France never gave up hope of recolonizing Haiti. Former French slave owners pressed their government to restore their colonial wealth. They demanded reparations, compensation for the losses that they sustained when Haitians became free, which is precisely what the King of France gave them. In 1825, French warships sailed into the Haitian port with an ordinance demanding that Haiti pay France an indemnity of 150 million gold francs. This amount represented 10 times the country's then national budget. The terms were non-negotiable. The alternative was war and the threat of re-enslavement. And so in another first, Haiti became the first and only nation to pay reparations to its former masters. A 6-part New York Times series published in May 2022 exposes this long-hidden chapter of French and Haitian history. I encourage you to read it. The Times calculated that the actual cost of the indemnity to Haiti was anywhere between 21 and 117 billion with a B, dollars, and that as a result of multiple consolidations of this loan, repayment by the Haitian government extended well into the mid-20th century. Economists have long cited payment of this ransom as the principal cause of Haiti's impoverishment. The brunt of the payment fell on the country's black rural peasantry. Heavy taxes were levied on agricultural produce, notably coffee, sugar, indigo, and precious wood. A repressive rural code was enacted to maximize productivity. There was simply no money left for much of anything else, especially in the rural countryside. Difficulty paying this so-called debt of independence was the backdrop of Haitian politics through the end of the 19th and into the 20th century. 80% of government revenues went to the debt. Governments rose and fell on their ability to pay French banks, fostering instability and corruption. Under the banner of the Monroe Doctrine and National City Bank's designs on these lucrative Haitian government loans, the U.S. invaded and occupied Haiti for 19 years. With protection of the U.S. Marines and a newly constituted Haitian army that was created by the U.S. government, Citibank controlled Haiti's national bank and became the repository of all Haitian national funds being collected by U.S. officials. Citibank stayed in Haiti 13 years after the occupation ended in 1934, ensuring that Haiti paid the very last penny of the 1825 indemnity. My dad, who was born in 1929, could still sing a little jingle that he and his classmates were taught as they threw coins into a basket to contribute to paying this so-called debt of independence. Haiti entered the second half of the 20th century with an impoverished rural sector that had little to no government services like healthcare or education. A color-class divide, akin to apartheid in South Africa, was fully entrenched. People of the rural countryside were called moun en dehors, which literally means people outside. Their birth certificates, including that of my husband, who was born in the South in 1953, was stamped with the word peasant. The mid-20th century then saw the rise of François Duvalier, Papa Doc. He established the notorious Tonton Macoutes, an armed corps of paramilitaries. During his 14-year reign of terror, Duvalier was responsible for up to 50,000 executions. Near the end of his term, he amended the Constitution twice, once to extend his term and name himself as president for life, and then to name his 19-year-old son, Baby Doc, his successor. All this with no real opposition from Haiti's strongest ally, which was the United States. But in the 1980s, a dynamic democratic movement took root in Haiti. The period was marked by the active participation of progressive members of the church, the Tile-Église, Christian-based communities agitating for social and political change. Popular organizations, women's groups, labor unions, agricultural cooperatives, youth groups, they engaged in literacy and adult education programs. Creole language radio stations began to inform and disseminate ideas reflecting on a new society. The young Catholic priest, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, was a leading liberation theologian and a spokesperson of this movement. And so in 1986, baby Doc Duvalier was forced to leave Haiti. After Duvalier, there was a succession of military hunters that controlled the government. And for 5 years, they thwarted attempts at free elections and demands for democratic rule, until December 1990. Haiti organized its first free and democratic elections. Aristide won by a landslide. His election crystallized a process of both political and social mobilization in a popular culture called la valasse, which means cleansing flood, that stood squarely against a polarized society that excluded the vast majority of the population. The flight of refugees to Miami stopped. Thousands of Haitians who had fled the country under Duvalier returned, the exact opposite of what we are witnessing today. There was hope. The economic elite was made to pay their fair share of taxes, and the minimum wage was set to increase. President Aristide's goal was at once simple and at the same time profound: to move the country from misery to poverty with dignity. Fast forward to 9 months later, an army-led coup d'etat brutally ended Haiti's experiment with democracy. Between 4,000 to 7,000 people were killed, tens of thousands forced to the high seas, 300,000 internally displaced, and countless more victims of illegal arrest and torture. Aristide was forced into exile. After 3 long years of clandestine mobilization in Haiti, and with the powerful support of the Haitian diaspora, including HAC, the Haiti Action Committee here in the Bay Area, Aristide returned to Haiti to finish the last 15 months of his term. In perhaps the most consequential act of his presidency, he demobilized the murderous Haitian army and established a civilian police force. A Truth and Reconciliation Commission was established to examine the crimes committed during the period of the coup, and in 1996, for the first time, there was a peaceful democratic transition of power in the country. 5 years later, President Aristide was re-elected to continue the work begun in 1991, constructing schools, investing in healthcare, strengthening the justice system, creating parks and public spaces. But the international community had other plans for Haiti. The government's access to international loans to finance policies like a vitally needed clean water project was blocked. Money instead flowed freely and abundantly to groups whose sole mission was to undermine, through propaganda and violence, the democratic government. In 2003, as President Aristide's government prepared to celebrate the bicentennial of Haiti's independence, he established a commission to study the debt of independence, that 150 million franc ransom that France had forced Haiti to pay back in 1825. President Aristide called for dialogue with France to address this historical injustice, making the case for reparations and restitutions to the people of Haiti. Within 1 year, exactly 8 months, on the night of February 29, 2004, President Aristide was overthrown in a coup d'etat. It was his second and the 32nd in the country's history, and this time with direct help from foreign troops that had their boots on the ground. He and I were shuttled to a French military base in Bangui, the capital of the Republic of Central Africa. At the end of our second week in Central Africa, as Pierre mentioned, the ever-fearless Congresswoman Maxine Waters and the late Randall Robinson, founder of Trans-Africa, They boarded a leased plane, negotiated our release, and accompanied us to Jamaica, where we reunited with our 2 daughters. After 3 months in Jamaica, facing constant pressure to be, quote, removed from the hemisphere, we went back to Africa, this time South Africa, where we spent 7 years in exile. We returned to Haiti in March 2011. Now, against this historic background enters UNIFA. The university was established in 2002 during President Aristide's 2nd term in office. Founding a university was not a stretch. While a priest, President Aristide had been a teacher for several years and had created a center for street children called La Famille c'est la vie, Family is Life. After his 1st term in office, he created the Aristide Foundation for Democracy that included Radio and Télétimoun, broadcasting services that were co-run by children that focused on educational and civic programming. At the time of UNIFA's founding, Haiti had a medical education exchange program with Cuba. We took it a step further, creating UNIFA inside Haiti to multiply the training of urgently needed healthcare professionals. The late Paul Farmer, founding advisor to UNIFA, wrote of UNIFA's a unique strategy to recruit students from poor families. Talented young people, Paul wrote, that previously found it nearly impossible to make their way to medical school. And from the start, UNIFA's mission has been clear: to provide quality higher education and break down the long tradition of exclusion of the poor majority in Haiti from access to education. By the fall of 2003, there were approximately 240 students enrolled in UNIFA's medical school. But days after the February coup, the international force deployed to Haiti ousted the students and seized the campus. Within a week, UNIFA transformed from university to military installation. When we returned to Haiti from South Africa, President Aristide immediately set out to reopening UNIFA. The challenges were many. The buildings were in disrepair. Learning material, computers, furniture, desks had been destroyed. The residential campus settled by families that had been displaced by the catastrophic January 2010 earthquake. President Aristide was undaunted. Always the great gatherer, he assembled a staff, reached out to former UNIFA teachers, Haitian medical professionals, UNIFA graduates who had completed their university's training at schools in Cuba, local and international supporters, and in October 2011, we reopened the medical school with 126 students, 63 women and 63 men.
All right.
UNIFA is a private university. We do not receive a subsidy from the government. We are financed by student tuition, some grant funding, and donations. To keep UNIFA accessible to as many young Haitians as possible, the tuition is lower than all comparable tuitions at other universities, and we offer scholarships. The campus sits on approximately 33 acres in the municipality of Tabor, which sits about 4 miles from the national airport. Apart from the academic buildings, there is the university hospital, and you saw the images during construction there, a residential campus housing up to 300 students, professors, and university staff, and a sports field. In the 12 years since reopening, we have added 8 new schools. In the health sciences, there are the schools of nursing, dentistry, physical therapy, pharmacy, and biomed sciences. There is a law school and schools of engineering, business administration, and agriculture. This year caps at 1,176 the total number of doctors, lawyers, nurses, physiotherapists, dentists, engineers, and administrators trained by UNIFA since 2011. The daughters and sons of Haiti's poor and struggling middle class. UNIFA putting into practice the Creole adage, tout moun c'est moun. Every person is a human being. Our graduates have organized themselves into a dynamic alumni association, a cohort of young professionals equipped to enter Haiti's workforce with a commitment to be active agents of change. In 2021, with institutional support, graduates organized mobile clinics in response to an earthquake that hit the South, killing up to 5,000 people. Dental and law students lecture at area high schools and lead topical debates on the airwaves of Radio and Télé Timoun. This year again, UNIFA Med School graduates secured several of the top 10 slots in competitive national medical residency programs. With support from our partners, we have been able to keep pace with a growing student population to expand access to higher education in Haiti. Classroom space has tripled. Coveted student and professor housing has been repaired and restored. Investments made to broaden Wi-Fi access across campus. A cafeteria and snack bar built. Hundreds and hundreds of trees planted to promote serenity, including a new Place Dignité, and I think you saw pictures, that's nestled under the shade of mango and eucalyptus trees, a variety of oak trees, almond, cherry, and lemon trees, right next to a small medicinal plant garden. Through the years, visiting professors have lectured on topics ranging from African Renaissance, the law of human dignity, environmental law, gold mining in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a 5-day neuroanatomy seminar led by a professor from right here in California at the Davis School of Medicine. And as Seth mentioned, many, many delegations of students from your high schools and some parents, and there's a parent here who's been on at least 5 visits and who I met with and I had opportunity to talk to. We always, always enjoy and welcome those visits. As a stepping stone to the teaching hospital, UNIFA opened a clinic at our nearby foundation headquarters. Right now, we are waiting delivery at the end of this month of 12 additional dental chairs that will nearly double the reach of services to the community and training capacity for our dental students. An adjacent farm offers invaluable training for the agronomy students. Thanks to the donation from the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund based here in the Bay Area, as you heard, we purchased a tractor, and you saw the picture. I do that especially for Pierre. He loves to see a picture of that tractor. And students will be learning to operate it this semester, and use it to increase agricultural production. But it's already been put in use. This summer, we began construction of 2 commercial chicken coops to be run by professors and students from the School of Agriculture as a work-study program. 5 years ago, though, we embarked on what was to date, our most ambitious project, a university teaching hospital. Construction on the UNIFA hospital began in earnest in April 2019, following a site visit by Maxine Waters, activist Danny Glover, and lawyer, social justice activist Walter Riley, who's also part of the Haiti Action Committee and HERF, and based right here in Oakland. The construction was completed in 2022, last year, drawing principally from UNIFA expertise. The architect who designed the space is head of our architecture department. The civil engineer in charge of construction teaches at UNIFA. And the agronomist who designed the green space surrounding the hospital is a teacher in our School of Agriculture. Construction persisted despite massive general strikes that shuttered most of the country for 3 months, followed by, of course, the COVID lockdown. The 3-level hospital complex encompasses over 54,250 square feet, and in its final phase of operation will accommodate 205 patient beds in a mix of private, semi-private, and multi-bed wards. Construction was completed at the end of 2021, I misspoke, and a phased opening of services began in 2022. But it coincided with really the height of political tensions in the country and kidnappings that was targeting health professionals. It reached a point that nurses would take off their uniforms before leaving the hospital and put them in a bag so as not to be seen wearing their uniforms. Today, our 2 surgical suites are operational, as are 6 specialized outpatient clinics, the medical lab, and the radiology department that includes X-ray, sonogram, and mammogram machines, and as of the last 3 months, a 126-slice CT scanner, one of precious few scanners in Haiti. And that last picture of the baby that you saw on the slideshow is a picture of the first baby who was born at the hospital in May. A little boy. Investing in medical education in Haiti, from classroom teaching through to clinical training at a fully equipped teaching hospital, is one of the most effective strategies in reversing the horrific decline in Haiti's healthcare system. At the end of the 2023 academic year, enrollment at UNIFA stood at 5,060 students, and we had about 135 professors. And these are not full-time professors for the most part. The vast majority of them are working professionals who are committed to higher education. This summer, high school students and their parents defied the news reports of shooting and unrest in Tabar, which is the vicinity of our school, to register for admission at UNIFA. An unrest that forced the closing of area businesses and the neighboring U.S. Embassy. On September 22nd, this same courage and hope by our students and their parents was on display when hundreds of them showed up for the admissions exam. The political theorist Joy James defines revolutionary love as love shaped by political will. Titid, his nickname, President Aristide's nickname, his vision in creating UNIFA was an act of revolutionary love. The political will that gives it shape, sustains it, and pushes it forward is his commitment to education and planting the seeds for Haiti's future. On October 2nd, there occurred on the same day 2 consequential events relating to Haiti. One inside Haiti, the start of UNIFA's academic year, the other hundreds of miles away, the vote at the UN to send foreign troops. Solutions to Haiti's complex problems will not come easy and will certainly not come from outside. Solutions must be pursued by and with Haitians simultaneously on many fronts and with equal resolve. What is certain is that in this moment, as we search for solutions, access to education at every level must continue and must at all costs be protected. Medical services and education provide indisputable areas of moral clarity. Respect of this principle in Haiti is the only way to ensure that when Haiti emerges from the horrific situation that we are living, there will be farmers, carpenters, doctors, lawyers, medical workers, IT specialists, contractors, electricians, mechanics, nurses, geologists, the full breadth of vital skills needed to reconstruct the nation. A wealth of human spirit, President Aristide has called it, to lead us into the future. Thank you.
So we wonder if we might be able to here just take a few questions. We have a reception that's waiting for us, but we would also, Avotcja is here, and so we'd like to invite Avotcja for 2 polls. And briefly, we can experience that. I think that would be really wonderful. I also want to note that Emery Douglas is here with us tonight. The Minister of Culture of the Black Panther Party, revolutionary work. And I would then like to invite faculty, colleagues, students, all of those present here, community members, to please ask some questions if you'd like. I can move the microphone. And
Do you want me to?
would you like to come up? Okay. And we'll have a space here.
Do you want me to sit?
I think so, yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Would anyone like to ask some questions, please? And Seth and Kyoshi want to help and field for questions that you might have. We'll open it up.
We can bring the mic to you. I got you. Questions for Mrs. Aristide?
Questions?
I actually have one. Through everything that Haiti's been through everything you've been through, how do you find the resilience just to keep going?
It is really, okay. It's absolutely thanks to the students. You know, I mentioned the day of the admissions exam in September, on the 22nd. And as I was pulling up to the gate at UNIFA, you know, it was just a buzz. There were all these, you see these tap-taps, these little covered pickups, brightly, this is what serves as public transportation in Haiti. So there were a line of tap-taps in front of the gate. Motorcycles, which also serve as taxis, dropping off students, parents dropping off students for the exam. There were vendors, food vendors had come back, selling grilled corn, soda, fruit, and it was just, you know, just alive, a buzz. And it was really such a visceral scene for all of us, the entire staff, to know that we just really have to redouble every effort to make this academic year happen. And not just for the teaching staff, down from security to the administrative staff to the professors, everyone feels an obligation, really a moral obligation to do. And so that keeps us going, you know, because I'd like to say, the young people who are on campus, they weren't even alive in 1991 when President Aristide was president. Were they alive in 2004? Maybe not, or they were babies. And so the question is, what are you doing now for us? You know, what are the opportunities now? We say, you know, it's difficult to say don't leave the country because we know the difficulties and what is being faced. And yet, we have to offer the youth something. We have to offer hope. And if the tragedy were to occur where there was a disruption, a complete disruption in this most important moment, what happens on the other side? What happens on the other side? And so that's why we have to persevere and continue through this. And the students provide us with all the energy. And in Creole, we say serum. It's a serum to keep us going. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so.
We got one over here.
One more question.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Natalia, do you have a question?
I'll ask you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I think we don't need to, I think, yeah, we can hear okay without the mic.
Thanks for coming all this way and presenting. We appreciate it. It was really interesting. I have two questions. One you just kind of talked about a little bit around given the age of the people who are attending the university and the long history of, liberatory history of Haiti. Is there like a pedagogy, or how do you connect what's happening today in the teaching space
Great question.
to have folks fit into the larger legacy without necessarily having lived through it? And this one you can answer however you want to. But how do you position the university? How do you all position yourselves to both be a beacon of education and attract people to the university, but given the very real security concerns that imperialists are supporting to destabilize education and other things in Haiti? How do you position yourself to both attract and also maybe fly under the radar, or can you say something more about your strategic positioning of the university?
Oh, two very astute questions. Just briefly, what do we do beyond the classroom work? We have regularly a weekly conference we call Les Jeudis de l'UNIFA, Thursdays at UNIFA. And that's the space where we invite professors on campus, professionals outside of Haiti, or just professionals in Haiti, to provide conferences and lectures on different topics. It could be, we had one person who came and talked about the insurance industry. I give this one example because it was really interesting. So he talked about insurance, the importance of insurance, and that these young people are embarking on careers and why it's important to have insurance. And questions at the end. And the person explained that you can insure against any risk. And that's what he kept saying. And that's, to give the understanding of insurance. And the last question came from a student, says, sir, given the conditions in the country, and again, we're at the height of kidnapping, he says, the biggest risk right now is kidnapping. Is there insurance for kidnapping? And it was a serious question. Yeah, it was. And that exists in some countries. And he said, unfortunately, not existent in Haiti because there isn't a police force that is strong enough to combat. And so, no, unfortunately, that's not. But I say that to say that we maintain these discussions on a weekly basis on topics that reflect what's going on in the country. We have a weekly Semaine Scientifique Science Week where it's themed on a topic. And again, students participate in that, in presenting papers on their region, the importance of their geographic region. So there are other opportunities to have other information come through to the students. What do we do to stay under the radar? We kind of don't, Our graduation, and Seth, Pierre, who else has been to our graduation ceremony? Well, Merck isn't here. Yeah. Merck isn't here. But we have our annual graduation. It's televised live on several television stations, and the radio station and television, like vie to be able to come and to rebroadcast. They said, because what's going on, people need to see this because this is inspiring, this gives hope, and this it's uplifts. And there are a lot, last year and the year before last, we're like, will we be able to have graduation this year? 2 years ago, about a week before graduation, our caterer, her mom was kidnapped. Her mom was kidnapped like a week. And so catering that year was a disaster, and we understood. But we have to keep doing. We have to know that there is this rendezvous. Every March, our first graduation coincided with the 6-year anniversary of our return to Haiti. We had our first graduation in March 2017. Day for day. We came back on the 11th. We had our graduation on the 11th. And every year since, except for the COVID lockdown, which on the Friday before the Sunday, we had to cancel. And so the following year, we had ceremony for 2 students. But it's important to have this continuity and to know that this will happen. And so the schools opened on October 2nd. That's the opening of the university system. And we opened. And we knew that there would not be our full effect of students. And there wasn't, because there were a lot of students who were staying away. All of this talk about the foreign troops. There is a heightened sense of insecurity and a fear of some kind of an event. And so not everyone came. But every day since, more and more students are coming. And when I spoke to Titi during the week, he told me on Thursday, because I was already here in the Bay Area, they indeed had their Jeudi de l'UNIFA. So we had our conference, as we normally do every Thursday. And so it's this determination to make sure that we maintain this regularity. And we've lost many students who have left the country. We've lost many professors, doctors who have left the country. I talked about the route via Nicaragua and through to the southern border, but the United States has offered a 2-year work program for folks, and so people are leaving there. And Canada has recently offered a migration program I won't say targeting, but highlighting the most skilled of persons in Haiti, the people that we specifically need to teach and to be part of the rebuilding efforts. And again, on an individual basis, it makes absolute sense. Because on the eve of our opening, our first day, one of our leading administrators was kidnapped the Sunday before. We had 2 professors who barely escaped their homes before they were invaded by the paramilitary groups. And during the year, we've had at least 1 or 2 professors who were kidnapped. And that's not the full list. We know that there are more. So it is against difficult, and that's why it's in these moments that we have to be more determined and more insistent on doing what we must do. It's really, it's a moral obligation. And when I say that Aristide created out of an act of revolutionary love, it really is not an exaggeration.
All the connection with Cuba, especially as regards the medical area, and external connections, like with the FLCCC, you know those people, with the doctors here, who have been fighting against these inoculations. Mm-hmm. And then Children's Health Defense, Robert Kennedy's organization. I think they are very important for you to hook up with our people. And I bow to you all for setting up that farm, because it's very important to get the herbs that our people have used for centuries. I'm from, well, Haiti we call it, like Haiti, Haiti in Trinidad. And I grew up with my grandmother and the herbal things. And what have me here now? My elder brother, whose birthday would have been today, he worked for the government for many years. And he went in the hospital and they gave him that Johnson & Johnson shot. Got a massive stroke on the right side, and he's with our ancestors. So the important thing I would like you to look into also, I got from sources that the last assassinated president, he had refused to accept a lot of those, I say poisonous potions for the Haiti people. And then he was wiped out. And right after, Joe Biden sent shipments of the AstraZeneca to Haiti. I hope our people didn't take it, but he had refused to even give it to the people in this country. They have our people now living in fear of discussing these things, but it's very important. In Kenya, please get in contact with the women parliamentarians there, because they have very, very important connections. You know, I think the court now is fighting against them, sending those people to Haiti. So what's the connection with Cuba as regards?
Thank you.
We got that.
To invite Avotcja, and Avotcja is a renowned poet, multi-instrumentalist who's been widely published and who also is a respected Bay Area DJ radio personality. She's the founder of the Clean Scene Theater Project, and I heard from Pierre that she has known Piri Thomas. So as a professor in theater, dance, and performance studies, I am so pleased that Avotcja, that you can be here with us today to read a poem. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, I guess the first thing to say is that it's Avotcja. But I've been called avocado or ruchi, and I kind of this thing does not want to stay up. What can I say?
Can we prep that up?
I want to thank Mildred Aristide for being who she is, and your husband and your children and the people of Haiti. You know, a lot of when you were talking, I just want to cry, because the reality is that for those of us who do know, this is not new. I just finished celebrating. In fact, my friend back over here is friends with a lot of the folks, the Black Mexicans. They just celebrated their Independence Day, which is October the 19th. Now, most of you don't know that. In fact, 90% of Mexicans don't know that. Mexico didn't even acknowledge these millions of folks in Mexico until recently. So, I mean, this thing that's happening to IT is not new, and I'm very grateful. Papi was a Garveyite, so I had heard about IT and Mexico and, you know, Costa Rica and the Palenque and Colombia and what have you, all of these independence battles. And it always blows my mind. A real short story. One day I went to work, I do a radio program at KPFA. And I went to go do my radio show, and I might start crying when I think about it. In the lobby was this woman who had been hacked all up. And it blew me away. Well, the first poem I'm going to do is dedicated to her and a whole bunch of other sisters. And these creatures in Haiti had hacked her up because she was telling the truth. I don't know.
It's okay.
Okay, there we go. She was telling the truth. And our truth is very uncomfortable for certain people. They still are enamored with our servitude, our supposedly our joyous working for free for them. Her name was Aristide Foundation, and she blew my mind. Nothing stopped her. She was there to do this radio program at KPFA, and she did programs at KPO and what have you. She wasn't going to stop talking, despite they had cut off half her face. You know, this thing that's happening with IT is serious as a heart attack. So whether it's IT, if it's Mexico, it's Costa Rica, it's Puerto Rico, Mississippi, or Georgia, this is real. There's certain folks that really are stuck on stupid and really want to keep us enslaved. And if they can't do it physically, they want to do it here, in our heads. Thank you for doing what you're doing, because you make sure that they cannot do it to our heads. So with that, I'm going to do a couple of poems. My kind brother from Bacariba, Trinidad and Tobago, is going to help me with this. This first one I mentioned, the poem is called Cactus Flower, La Negrita del Nopal. And my dear friend, Pierre back there, has been talking about, he's going to help me find this person, a poet that speaks and writes in Creole, because I want to get this poem translated to Creole, since Aristide Foundation is one of the people that is dedicated to. But it hasn't happened yet, so I said it in front of all the folks. You heard me say it.
No pressure.
No, I want this poem translated into Creole, not French. No. Creole. Because she's one of the people it's dedicated to. And we as black women have gotten bad-mouthed so bad by so many people. But the reality is, we got so many strong brothers like Pierre and like Emery and like Val because of us being hard-headed, stubborn women. Because of people like Aristide Foundation. So this is called La Negrita de Nopal, or Cactus Flower, for dance choreographer Deborah Vaughan, Haitian freedom fighter Aristide Foundation, Fundi, director of Bukani Waweto, poet and publisher Naomi Long Magic, Nina Simone, blues queen Memphis Minnie, Big Mama Thornton, Coco Taylor, Sister Makenya, and each and every one of you and me and what have you, the cactus. As the cactus, a remarkable plant, sister to black woman who too has been made prickly and hard on the outside, but somehow still remains on the inside soft and gentle, and where there is no visible water you can always drink from her, for she is a reservoir of water and life even in the driest and deadliest of deserts. And when you need protection, you can always depend on her, for she is as dangerous as the angry machete. And when hunger strikes, she is the finest and tastiest of foods. She is, at the same time, both medicine and nourishment. The cactus is strong and unbelievably adaptable. It is impossible to destroy her, as she is self-sustaining when necessary. She leaves her seed everywhere, and her children go under any and all conditions. She blooms in both the snow and the nighttime, and her flowers are always beautiful. She is indomitable. I say, she is indomitable. All this is to say, congratulations, my sister Cactus Lady. You deserve 2 awards. One for your art, which feeds our soul, and another for your cactus-like endurance, which feeds our dignity and pride. Go on, Mama Bahia, you have spread your seeds well. Wow. I've done a lot of benefits for Haiti, and every time something horrible happens there that I hear about, it's another stab wound in my heart. But you know, Haiti folks, ain't no stopping them. The name of this poem is Indestructible or Indestructible, because nothing seems to stop them. And I call Haiti the mystic garden of dreams. And they have paid such a horrible price. That's what the thing is. They paid the price. They paid the price. The Zapotec speaking people in Mexico, they paid the price. And they're still paying the price. And anything you can do to help to rectify this madness, please keep doing it because it's not over. Indestructible or indestructible. Haiti, Mystic Garden of Dreams. Mama Haiti, beautiful, magical incubator, mother of miraculous visions. You are the sacred womb of our freedom, still infused with the spiritual integrity of Bukman. You are the divine light, the driving force, the seed that fed the dreams of Anacaona and Toussaint Louverture. You are the insatiable source, the intangible source that ignites the fire inside the underlying unifying sincerity of a Jean-Jacques Dessalines. The promise in your voice cuts through steel. I said cuts through steel, the mystical, magical machete that sings through rah-rah prowess, and a whole world drinks your tears, trying to wash themselves clean on your pain. Mama Haiti. The fiend of greed may have tried to kill your economy and blindly deforest the wealth of your souls. They may have desecrated your rice fields, but you always bounce back. You always, always, always bounce back. You are the light. And right now you shine on the newest incarnation of the Emperor Has No Clothes. Your unbreakable spirit is so powerful that even his story blushes at the whispered international embarrassment of having to admit defeat at the hands of determined black peasants, defeat of the world's strongest armies, defeat of bitter pill and off-key soundtracks, salt in the wounds to accompany the fall of an empire, and still you're paying for it, and paying for it, and paying for it, paying for an evil not of your making, still paying in bloody deprivation for the behind whipping that left Napoleon crueling. Beautiful Haiti, beautiful, beautiful Haiti, sacred womb of freedom, hold on. The emperor has no clothes and you are the light. The whole world finally sees right through the obscenity of his nudity. It's not a pretty picture. Majestic Haiti, proud incubator of independence, I too bathe in your sorrow. But after so long eating from the bowl of poverty, there is no hurricane or earthquake strong enough to re-enslave you. I say there is no hurricane or earthquake strong enough to enslave you. You may be stunned, you may be knocked down for a minute, you may be in shock, but they will never, never, ever knock you out. Just like they couldn't lock you out of the palace gates. The proofs in the memory of the strength of your piss, a communal gift of poor folks' piss, eating its way through the aluminum-plated greed of sanctimonious despots. And we will not see you be defeated. Mama Haiti, you are our Ache, our never-ending, unbeatable spirit of freedom. You are the light. Your spirit is immortal, and this time, the best of humanity is ready to help you be reborn. Thank you for your gift. Whether it's a little twerp like me, born in New York City, a Caribbean transplant, born in New York City, or whether we're born in Mexico, or whether we're born in Mississippi, you don't know how many people you have influenced and IT. You're hitting on my soul.